Hello there everyone, welcome to the channel if you're new, welcome back if you're not. I am EDJ, and we're going to be learning about families and calendars in Rome. The calendar had to do with the Pontifex Maximum, so I'm assuming it might come up, I'm guessing, I don't know. But yeah, last time we learned about the election and the three assemblies, that govern certain elections and what they were used for. So for the curses honor them. So overall, yeah, it's just the knowledge keeps stacking and building, and I'm wondering what families and calendars are gonna have to do. I can only assume he's gonna talk about the typical Roman family. I guess families had structures, I don't know. But I'm interested in finding out what it is. So yeah guys, without any further ado, we ought to get right into it. If you want to watch the original video, link down in the description. With that said, without any further ado, let us get to it. Let us watch families and calendars.
Sometimes small cultural oddities can speak volumes about how a society thinks of itself. In ancient Rome, the family was seen as a microcosm of the state. The father figure was seen as the consul, or king, or emperor of the household. Rebellion against the family king was seen as a pseudo-treasonous act, and his freedom to rule over his subjects was almost limitless. A distorted version of this power dynamic was also true in politics. The ultimate public compliment was to refer to another man, even a younger man, as father. Politically motivated adoptions were also pretty common, even between two men of similar ages.
Yeah, that makes sense, because we've seen that a lot, like with Julius Caesar adopting Octavian, even though they're already related. We saw Augustus essentially kind of, I guess, adopt his best friend Agrippa as his son and heir, which is still weird to me. Julius Caesar married his daughter to Pompey, even though Pompey's the elder. It's like, and we also, I remember Octavian used to refer to Cicero as father, so yeah, I'm having all this came back to me. So that makes sense. I was always like, such a weird system with adoption and all of that, but yeah, I guess so. Putting it like that makes much more sense to me now.
The Senate even had the authority to designate a citizen the father of the state. This prestigious title was awarded to Cicero after thwarting a coup attempt as consul. The Senate could pay no higher compliment. Why am I bringing this up? I want to illustrate how the Romans saw public and private life as mirror images of each other. To be a good consul was to act like a good father. To be a good father was to rule like a good king. This dualistic relationship between public and private life permeated all levels of Roman society. In order to better understand this, I want to talk for a minute about how the Romans perceived time. When the Romans spoke about events from their ancient history, they used a version of the yearly counting system that we still use today. Year 1 for them was the year that the city was founded, and they simply counted up from there. But what may surprise you is that in practice, nobody besides priests and historians really used this system in day-to-day life.
Yeah, didn't he mention that when people would talk about the year, they would talk about like the consul of that year? Like, oh, in the year of Consul Antonius and Cicero or something like that. I'm pretty sure he mentioned it in one of the earlier videos. I think it was the Pontifex Maximus video.
The yearly dating system that they used was itself rooted in politics. If somebody was asked what year they were born in, the answer would be something like in the year of Marius and Flaccus. They would list the consuls that served for that year. No number given, just the names. But, without missing a beat, everybody involved would have known exactly what year was being referred to. Think about the implications of this. This meant that the average Roman citizen would have had an encyclopedic knowledge of every consul from living memory. Obviously, this also speaks to the immense prestige of being elected consul in the...
What if, like, consuls have the same names? Okay, it doesn't seem to be the case, but it's like, what if there were, like, two consuls with the exact same names? It's like, oh, which one? The first one or the second? I'm sorry, that just made me laugh. But, yeah, we've seen... Yeah, there are some, like here, Marius has the same one. But I suppose I don't see any with the exact same duo name, so I guess that helps. But yeah.
In the first place. If you were elected consul, you got to be a year. That's incredible. Imagine if I were to say something absurd, like I was born during President Reagan's 4th year. You would need to track down a political junkie and an abacus just to figure out what I was trying to say. The Romans talked about days in a strange way as well. We are inheritors of the Roman calendar, so interpreting it should feel pretty natural to us, but it doesn't. They would never say anything like the 12th of July. They could have. They had a calendar with that day on it, but they didn't. In practice, they would always place the date in relation to the nearest important public holiday. In this case, they would have said, I was born 4 days before the Ides of Quintilis, which we now call July. So when we combine the date and the year I just used, we get Julius Caesar's birthday, which according to the Romans would have been 4 days before the Ides of Quintilis in the year of Marius and Flaccus. According to us, it was July 12th, 100 BCE.
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of happy that though Rome hasn't, you know, inspired much of Western civilization, I am glad that we moved on from referring to years like this. Because, yes, I was born 4 days before the Ides of March in the year of Bill Clinton. Could you imagine? That's just a mouthful. Just be like, dude, I was just born in like 2000, you know, February or something like that. Like, I don't know. I'm happy. I'm happy we simplified it.
Between you and me, I'm glad we switched to our system.
Yes.
Anyway, what I want to draw your attention to is this. Even relatively small quirks, like how the Romans described time, can tell us a lot about the culture's basic ideology. Political literacy was, by design, a mandatory part of day-to-day life. Romans could not plan for the future or reminisce about the past without placing it in a political, or at least civic-minded context. That, I think, is key to understanding their society.
Yeah, so, wait, let me get that one last time, I apologize.
Think is key to political, or at least civic-minded culture, or reminisce about the past without placing it in a political, or at least civic-minded context.
Yeah, everything kind of relates to politics, doesn't it? Like, even the family, the calendar, everything... Politics seem to be at the heart of Rome, from what I've gathered watching all of these videos. And, yeah, everything has to be recontextualized into politics. So, that is very fascinating. You know, I'm glad we didn't adopt that part completely from Romans, but, yeah, that's interesting. And also, it's like, that's interesting, right? Like, if someone said, oh, I was born on the Ides of March 4 days before year of, you know, Consul or Marcus and Flaminius or whatever. It's like, man, everyone just had to basically know it. But I guess that would be easy because, like, yeah, the politics are completely at the center of just society as a whole. So, yeah, that kind of... Everything has to... Well, what I've gathered now, to make this all simplified, all these videos we've watched, everything is related to politics. Symbolically or just straight up practically, everything is related to the politics and what's going on in the governmental body of Rome at any given year. So, okay, I think I'm understanding just what makes Rome tick, and that is fascinating. Like I said, I've never known this, but that was enlightening. So yeah, what the heck is this going to be about? Lupercalia? I guess we'll find out, but yeah, guys, I'll see you next time. But that was enlightening for sure. Interesting, another great video, and we'll be learning about more in the next time. Bye, everyone.